Hi again, everyone. Welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Why? For things like this on Monday, when T. Higgins' agent, David Mulligetta, says, hey, let's get T out of Cincinnati. And I wondered if this would be the case. The Bengals have T in a place that isn't great because Tee Higgins has not produced like these high-end wide receivers, the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons. He wants to get paid, and yet the Bengals know over the next 2 years they can pay him $47 million on 2 franchise tags, and they can just plan for that. And so when I see the reports out and literally every national media outlet says, oh, Tee Higgins has requested a trade. The team hasn't had long-term extension talks with him since March 2023, which I don't buy at all, but it's coming from the agent. David Mulligetta is trying to get his client a new contract, an extension elsewhere. And the Bengals dealt with this last year with Jonah Williams. I think it's different because I think the market for T is certainly different. The wide receiver market is interesting. And so to me, the Bengals can do two things here. They cannot blink, which they're not going to blink. The Bengals don't blink in these type of situations, and they're not going to blink in this situation. So they will still prepare like T is on the roster. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't entertain trades. And that doesn't mean that this won't drum up interest across the league. When you look at the wide receiver market in the draft, yeah, there's a lot of guys. There isn't a lot in free agency. It's Calvin Ridley and it's Hollywood Brown. And well, Tee Higgins would be a huge, huge part of this. And especially with Michael Pittman Jr. also on the franchise tag, Tee Higgins would clearly be the number one receiver on the market. So the Panthers want to trade for Tee Higgins. All right, what are you going to give up? I think that the Patriots are certainly in the veteran wide receiver market. So I think there are suitors. Another team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will say this. I think Tee Higgins would be interested in reuniting with Trevor Lawrence. And the part of this that's really tough to navigate if you're the Bengals and Tee Higgins' party is one, clearly there's some animosity between the two. Two, it's all of this is dependent on a long-term extension with whatever club he goes to. So there's a lot in the air here. And I think this is a power play by Mulligetta because he looked up and realized that the Bengals could really be comfortable. And I've said it here, spending $47 million over the next 2 years for Tee Higgins and saying, all right, we'll just go year by year with you because we know how much it's going to cost. And I think the guaranteed money that was asked for is more than that $47 million. So this is the ugly side of it. And I do wonder what's going to happen. And I think Tee Higgins, if he was all in on staying, could stay. I also think he's making a personal choice here to try to get a long-term extension at 25 years old. And I totally get that too. And so this is something that was always a possibility. And unfortunately, I do wonder what his market is, given how deep it is in the draft. Like if you're the Patriots, do you give up the 35th pick? If you're the Panthers, do you give up the 33rd pick? Okay. What if the Bengals want to move up? And that's what I would be trying to do if I'm the Bengals. If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals today, I would say, all right, T, well, then find a deal with one of these teams in the top 10. That's what I want you to do because we want to move up in this draft. Because if I can take Tee Higgins in 18 and maybe another pick and get to number 7 with the Titans and get to number 3 with the Patriots, I would do it. Of course I would do it. Get to number 4 with the Cardinals. Of course I would do it. The Giants, whoever you want to throw out there, that's what I would try to do. That's where I would start. Now, will teams start calling? Of course they will. And they should. They should call right now. They should try to get a deal done today because there aren't many wide receivers out there. And if you're the Bengals, you do want to get something done sooner rather than later so you can use that $21.8 million cap hit. So instead of blinking or not blinking because the Bengals never blink, maybe they look at this and say, all right, it's $21.8 million against the cap. This could get ugly. Let's see what's out there. Maybe they entertain it or maybe they don't. I will say this. They are not going to get run over by an offer. They are not going to blink and settle for a 3rd round pick for Tee Higgins because he asked for a trade. They're like, okay, well, we'll see what's out there. I think that's the Bengals mindset. I think it will be the Bengals mindset in a situation like this. And the beauty of it is we're going to have you covered. In season, it's win, lose, or draw. Here, it's sign, trade, unable to sign and retain, whatever you want to call it. Free agency is here, and we have you covered every single step of the way on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notified anytime we put out a video, and make sure for more you check out allbengals.com because there's rumors and rumblings right now about Chidobe Awuzie's future, about the Bengals potentially being interested in a top free agent cornerback, which is quite interesting. And so you want to keep it locked on allbengals.com, and we will have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk from a YouTube standpoint whenever news breaks. So for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.